I'm Dan, and I have a problem. This is Nacho. He's an 18-month-old green iguana, and his current enclosure is criminally small. So I'm gonna build him a new one. What are my constraints, you ask? I'll tell you. First, I need it to match my wife's current furniture aesthetic. Second, I need it to be awesome and badass. Third, it needs to be mobile and generally fit over a radiator in the children's science room. And fourth, it needs to be intensely automated because that's just kind of how I roll. I haven't welded anything this big before. I'm not a fabricator. I'm not even a real welder. I want this to be 5 feet wide by 4 feet tall by 2 feet deep. On stilts, I think it's gonna get pretty wonky because I'm missing a lot of essential welding helper parts. I'm gonna give it a go anyway. I figure I'll start by welding the sides. I'll try and figure out a way to connect those two sides to make it three-dimensional. This is taking way longer than it should, and like heat makes things like warp and expand, and I'm winging it, but I'm almost done with the sides. The sides are built, and I realized how big this thing is actually gonna be. It's gonna be huge, and the floor needs to be level. So I'm gonna lay down some big aluminum blocks, and then lay down some extruded aluminum, make it flat, put some wood on it. That'll be a nice, I'm gonna call it a reference surface.
Oh yeah. So flat.
Ugh. Now I'm just clamping everything together, and it seems like it's gonna be square. Here we have it. It's 5 feet wide. It's 4 feet high, 23 inches deep. A lot of reptile people will be appropriately angry at me saying it's not wide enough for it to turn around, and they should be angry at me, and they should write it in the comments, and I'll ask for their forgiveness. So to be clear, this is not his forever home. I'm stressed out. Those rectangles I welded, I don't think they turned out to be even to each other. And this could get really complicated really quickly. 3/8? Well, what's going on? I like line these up together. I need to Pythagorean this. I think at this point, there's gonna be a lot of caulk involved. Oh, look at that. Red oak. It's fancy plywood. Someday I will do an episode on how I cut my finger off. Freak accident, but preventable. That's pretty cool. I'm needing to connect the steel bars with 3/4 inch red oak and with 1/4 inch polycarbonate. So my idea is to use these little doodads that I designed and 3D printed. How am I gonna connect this to the steel? I'm just gonna tap some holes into the steel so I can screw it right in for easy assembly. So I'm gonna try and put everything together now once I drill and tap a billion holes. So I've got a dry erase board, it looks like. No, it's Lexan. And it actually is screwed in pretty well. And I'm quite jazzed about that. The roof is done. I didn't go too much into it. I did a little bit out of order because I wasn't sure where I'd have to put the holes until I'd built the stuff inside the tank that would dictate where the holes went. So I've got 5 holes. One is for your standard basking light. It's bright. It's where Nacho hangs out during the day. The other one's probably gonna have like a ceramic heat radiator or something like that. So it's like, no, these are gonna go here and here. I cut some big holes. I didn't want them to just be sitting on the top of the tank where they could get banged around. I have a cat. Cat likes to smack stuff. What are these other 3 holes for? These 2 are for something that's gonna be in a later video of my check valve, water pumping, waterfall, fogger apparatus. So I'm gonna have one of those in each of these, and they're a pain to get to if I don't give myself access. They're gonna be at the top of a large column of 3-inch PVC pipe. They sit in there. There's a hose that goes up, pumps water up, check valve so it doesn't have to prime it every time. There's fogger and waterfall, Amazon, go. Middle part is going to be the exhaust vent, and there's a couple different weird ideas I have with this, including my still suit idea. The still suit idea is a way to maintain vapor in the tank, so when fresh air circulates in, I don't necessarily circulate out all the humidity and water unless I want to. Something I made. We'll see if it works. My plan is to have Lexan, 1/4 inch Lexan or polycarbonate for the back and for the sliding doors. One of the problems with Lexan is that it's a little flimsy, even when it's 1/4 inch. Luckily, enter Amazon. I got these doodads. It's aluminum channel. It's specifically for stuff. That's a 1/4 inch. I can slide it onto the full windows and it gives it a lot more rigidity. I'll put that on either side. Try and bend that. A lot harder. But then there's a problem of sliding these. One of the things I like to brag about is 3D printing nylon. Gives you bragging rights. You need a heated enclosure. My idea was to make something much like this out of nylon that'll go on the bottom and the top of the sliding doors. And then I took the idea for the aluminum channel and I ran with it, made these things. And then design some of these guys, do an overlay with the CAD design process there. And these are nice channels so it can drop in there and really easily slide because the coefficient of friction for nylon is super low. Throw some dry lube in there, dry lube, and I think it's gonna work really well.
Look at how it slides. Look at how low that coefficient.
I tried a bunch of different ways of fusing nylon together. This is working surprisingly better.
This is gonna be the first test of putting it in. Oh man, less flexible. Please don't embarrass me. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Yeah, man, that's a win.
So given that I have a 6'8" wingspan, you can see how big this is, but like, it works. I still have to put pieces in. This is how easily my sliding doors work. Considering they're not even like secured to anything yet. This is gonna be awesome.
This is a non-endorsed product that looked respectable. It's mini wax, wood finish, penetrating stain, espresso. So the question is, do I do a bunch of swatches or do I just go all in? I think I just go all in espresso. I really hope I don't regret this. I'm just saying, I'm not a woodworker. This looks really nice. I edge banded. I haven't done that before. Let's see how that holds up. These two are gonna go on the water drawers, and these are just little pieces for the side.
Oh, that's just a test fit, but that looks really nice. It looks like actual furniture and stuff.
I use this opportunity to clean up my crappy welding with an angle grinder and apply a layer of paint to keep it from rusting. I almost sealed the wood and then I realized I didn't drill a hole for the intake fan. So here's a video on how not to use a hole saw.
Am I through? I'm through, cool. It just fell off. Ah, it's hot. This is gonna be on the inside of the tank. The plan originally was to just cover this whole thing with caulk. It's expensive though. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of sealant.
All in all, I was really happy with how it came out.
I need to paint this or color it now. Instead of going with the same espresso stain we've been using, I want it to be like the night sky, so we're gonna use a true black on wood. Woodworkers watching me stain the unbanded edge of plywood right now are probably unsubscribing, but don't, because I get it, because I don't blame you, so stay.
Here's the finished bottom, and here's the finished top. Came out all right.
So I've made some good progress. It looks good. You can even hear me echoing inside of it. But I need to do this bottom part. This is here for a reason. It's where all the water is gonna collect. I'm gonna have a semi-permeable membrane for water to go through all of the substrate into a water tank that collects it. And then I'm gonna have pumps on either side that carry the water all the way up to the top, having nice little waterfall effects coming down, definitely with foggers in both of them. And whether those foggers are on or off will be controlled by the humidity. I'll get to that later. Now I have to take the Lexan that I have, cut it to shape, make it work. I've never glued Lexan together. I'm gonna see how Lexan glue works.
Causes skin irritation, that's cool. Causes eye irritation.
The cool thing about Lexan is, opposed to acrylic, you can cut it without just shattering the whole thing. So I'm just shaving this sheet that I had already kind of like pre-cut to near what I wanted. I'm gonna shave it down and then figure out how to glue stuff to it to make my water collection container. And I think I'm gonna make it a little narrower, maybe on the table saw, because the wood looks nice, stained. I wanna have some wood in front of it connected to it. So I have this giant like water drawer that I can slide in and out. So I leveled everything out so it's, you know, true level again. It fits together nicely. I wanna put the factory edge down. I should be able to just stand them up. Fumes.
May cause cancer? What? Respiratory irritation? That comes after cancer?
I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna hold it down, I'm gonna cap it. And honestly, that should be good in like a minute. Now, since this is true level, I'm gonna trust it's gonna be a perfect 45-degree angle. Please fit, please fit, please fit. Yeah! All right, that fits perfectly.
So that's our water collection system. And that's gonna be like my drawer mechanism here. I think it's gonna work out well. You just pull it out and push it back in. And I just need to cover a couple parts to make sure water doesn't leak out.
Water leaked out. It was a mess, but I figured out a way to fix it. Watch part 2 for the details.
This is gonna be really cool. Now to get on to the fun part, the terraforming. I'm tired of this part.
All right, check it out. Hey there, viewers. I got the doors back in. I used some dry lube. These are working better than I thought they would. Part 1's pretty much done. Part 2. Part 2 is gonna be decorating it. That video should be out soon. Using stuff like this. Is it gonna be bioactive? It's gonna be bioactive curious. You're gonna have an option to do either. And part 3 is really gonna see all the tech stuff going in, how it works, how it's programmed, even stuff like my moisture retention air circulation system. Think it's like a still suit. And the brains for the whole thing. Here we've got a Raspberry Pi, we've got a pulse width modulated fan to suck the air in. We've got an I2C relay board, really neat. Didn't even know they existed till I found one. And here's an I2C matrixer for all the SHT30 temperature and humidity kind of industrial level sensors. Because I want to make this thing redundant and safe and something I can set and forget and have a camera on it so I can say, hi buddy, how you doing? Thanks for watching. Oh, like and subscribe, Gears Code and Fire, like and subscribe, comment. Yeah. I almost denied the viewer the incredibly satisfying big reveal of ripping off the protective film. So satisfying. Oh, look at that. Get you later. All right.